This is the biggest story unfolding before their eyes.
Of a UFO battle in orbit around Earth.
I believe that's 504, please.
Welcome back to Aussie UFO News. Today, I'm showing my face. Yes, I don't look as nerdy as you probably thought. And I'm going to be doing a bit of a different video today, talking about politics. And not just any ordinary politics, I'm talking about the destruction of the West, what is happening right now around the world. And it is as much as a cover-up of a conspiracy as the UFO subject. So if you've been noticing most of the countries in the West being destroyed systematically, the farmers being destroyed, energy prices going up tenfold, people's wages staying static or dropping behind because of COVID and other things like that. This video here will explain to you that your governments aren't the ones in control. So if you haven't already, click the subscribe button. Also follow my two accounts on Instagram, Aussie UFO News and Aussie News Now, where I do the more political stuff. Now Australia, if you're wondering why our country has gone to shit, this is the video you want to watch. So make sure you share it around as well, because this is what the mainstream media will not tell you. The point here is, in this video, is that our governments are not the ones in control. How it works is major orgs like the World Economic Forum, full of these globalist billionaires that run the major banks around the world, create smaller organisations like the EU to control governments below. Once you become a member of the EU, your country is then controlled by the World Economic Forum globalists. This is how it works. So how it all started were the pandemics. The government succeeded in the first global lockdown following globalist institutions' orders, like the UN and WHO. After that, orgs like the World Economic Forum knew that the New World Order was possible. And how are they going to achieve this? Through attacking our farmers, controlling our food supplies. As you can see here in this doco, they explain.
They are thinking already from the perspective of a global, bureaucratic, quasi-totalitarian system of governing, system of rule. This is an agenda, and all these countries are implementing the same policies. So they've targeted the farmers because that's the agenda.
Right now, things have tripled as far as costs for my own farming operation and for many farmers, of course.
And to stop farmers from producing food, you need to implement things that people agree with, like using things like climate change to push net zero laws to collapse the economy and push up energy prices that will then affect farmers and critical parts of keeping a country going. This is all a part of the agenda. And where does it start? Well, it starts in institutions like universities.
You now make a point of that's an investment criteria for you.
Well, behaviors are going to have to change, and this is one thing we're asking companies. You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock we are forcing behaviors. 54% of the incoming class are women. We added 4 more points in terms of diverse employment this year. And what we're doing internally is, if you don't achieve these levels of impact, your compensation could be impacted, okay?
We're doing the same thing.
And so it's just, you have to force behaviors.
Because people don't really know that the left are hell-bent on going against globalist billionaires, when the real fact is the indoctrination of their leftism has been pushed by the exact globalists that they supposedly hate. Here is an ex-PM exposing the facts about the people who are actually funding the university system and all the protests and all this left-wing ideology.
We're uncovering the networks at the heart of the deep state. These Soros-backed NGO activists have systematically captured the government, corporates and media of Western nations. The priorities of normal people like earning money, getting on the housing ladder, a good education for their children, and being safe from crime have gone out the window. Instead, these nutters have focused the state and even the private sector on causes like net zero carbon, transgender ideology, and open borders. They've covered their tracks by throwing mud at the right, accusing us of the very crimes they are guilty of. The public has been fed the lie that it's conservatives that are funded by foreign interests and rich billionaires. The truth is the opposite. The global left has far outspent the right, and they've been coordinated and organised about it. Activist billionaires like George Soros, Abigail Disney, and Michael Bloomberg have supported networks of organisations, training camps for the next generation of globalists, and influence campaigns that have skewed the entire corporate world. And what's more, they've leveraged vast amounts of state spending that they've effectively stolen from hard work. Working taxpayers. This NGO industrial complex has treated the state as their own personal piggy bank. From USAID to the British Foreign Office to the Mayor of London, it's just one big woke slush fund that you have been paying for. The blob has been destroying the West from within. With its bases in the EU, the World Economic Forum and the United Nations, it has been in the ascendancy.
So there you go again. You notice how these same three institutions keep coming up. The World Economic Forum at the top, the European Union below, and then proxy the United Nations and the World Health Organization. And how do they push their influence? They use NGOs to siphon money through governments, yes, your tax money, to push this one world government, new world order that's going to control your food, control your vote, have constant surveillance with these flock cameras they're putting out everywhere, and AI data centers to keep all your information, to keep track of you. This is the socialist technocracy that these World Economic Forum globalists have implemented in the West over the past 8 years. And if you're wondering what the surveillance looks like, have you heard of smart cities, aka digital prisons? Well, that's coming next. Here's an expert on the Agenda 2032 and 52 of the digital one world government world prison system.
UN Agenda 2030 as a plan to impose a digital control system on humanity via programmable digital currencies, carbon taxes, and energy quotas, as part of a broader effort to reduce the world's population.
Sustainable development, quote unquote, to actually be able to happen. I think sustainable development as it's sold to the public through groups like the UN, for example, are really not what they claim to be. It's not really sustainable development for the good of the planet and the people. A lot of it is really aimed at ensuring that people are onboarded to some type of digital control system for easier management of the masses, and particularly onboarding people onto types of surveillable, programmable digital money, whether that means a central bank digital currency or a private sector digital currency, like a stable coin, for example. But all of that can be just as surveillable and programmable as CBDCs. And, you know, once you take control of the money and can surveil all the money and program the money to only be able to be used to purchase products X, Y, and Z and not products ABC, for example, you know, you can begin really micromanaging people and basically what type of economic activity people at any scale you want can engage in. And ultimately, if you limit, through things like carbon taxes or carbon markets and things like that, or quotas on carbon, that's essentially a tax on how much family a household uses. And so if you are greatly reducing the amount of energy that certain households can use, you're probably also limiting the size of the family that they can have, or the number of children they can have, and things like that.
After the CBDCs, then come smart cities.
Accomplished a 15-minute smart city plan. Well, the first step is digital ID, centralizing all your personal data into one system that the state can switch off if you're deemed to be a bad citizen. We've already seen Keir Starmer announce this here in the UK, and it's rolling out all over the world. Then comes carbon tracking, which is linked to your food, travel, and basically everything that you buy. This is already rolling out worldwide too, like when you book a flight or a hotel, your carbon footprint now appears, and UK banks have also recently added a carbon footprint feature that tracks and scores your spending. Next is CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, which give total control to the state over every purchase that you make. CBDCs will probably be ushered in after a manufactured cyber attack, collapsing the financial system to justify a safer, centralized digital currency. After that will come another pandemic or climate lockdown, all backed by their so-called science. And we all know after COVID that the masses will just go along with whatever is dictated. That's when they'll begin enforcing 15-minute smart zones. You'll already notice a really high level of cameras marking the perimeters of these areas, and by that point, everything will be digitalized. You'll need your phone to scan, to eat, or even transact financially, and if you cross a 15-minute boundary, the biometric cameras will simply flag you to the system. Once this is in place, they will push everyone to work from home. A habit society has been pre-trained and conditioned for during COVID, and those who can't work from home will be nudged onto a UBI. That's a universal basic income, which they are already planning for because they want everyone dependent on the state, and which AI will help to implement as it will take over most of the jobs. And this will all be justified under the banner of climate action and pandemic prevention, or whatever new crisis they create, leading to their end goal, which is to imprison humanity within digital control zones disguised as 15-minute smart cities. And as scary as all that is, there is some good news. Their system only works if we depend on it.
So there you have it. Smart cities, digital IDs, central bank digital currencies, climate lies, indoctrination of the youth by globalists that pay our universities, control our mainstream media. This is what's been happening since the pre-pandemic. Every step has been planned, every step has been executed, and here we are now. It's time to wake up, people. I hope you got something from today's video. Australians and people overseas, share this video around to your friends and family, because this is our future if we don't wake up. Also, check us out on Facebook and Instagram, Aussie UFO News and Aussie News Now.